What's up, guys? In this video, I want to be able to help you add and subtract radicals, but not just be able to do the problems, actually have an understanding of when, why, and how we can go ahead and do about that. So by the end of this video, I'm going to be able to show you how to combine this equation as well as an expression like this. Before we actually get into adding and subtracting radicals, I think it's really important for students to be able to understand some of the basics, right? So let's go and start with the basics real quick. And I want to explain these basics so you have a better understanding of why we add radicals the way that we do. So let's just do something that I think we can all agree to. So if I had 5 plus 5. I think this is relatively easy for most students. They recognize, hey, that's going to equal 10, right? But there's another way we could write 5 plus 5, and this is very important. So what we're doing is we're grouping this. So what's really important is I can also write this as a 2 times 5. I can group the 5s because not only are the 5s both numbers, right? But they're also the exact same number. So rather than just combining them 5 plus 5, I can also group them. And when we're thinking about adding and combining like terms, that's the idea we want to look for, is how can we group them together? Now, I know that 5 and 6 are both numbers, right? And so we can combine them. 11. However, I want you to understand we cannot group them like we did over here, right? This does not equal a 2 times, 5, or it does not equal a 2 times 6. So here we come to a problem. Even though they're both numbers, we cannot group them. This is the really important thing we need to understand here, because for instance, like apples and oranges are both fruit, but we can't combine them, right? An orange plus an orange is 2 oranges. An apple plus an apple is 2 apples. But when you have an orange and an apple, you can't say that's 2 apples or 2 oranges, right? You could say that's 2 fruit. So semantically, we can work around that. But when we're dealing with math and variables, it's very important to recognize how we can go ahead and combine things. So x plus x is, yes, that is 2x, but it's very important that we can recognize this to be a 1 plus 1, right, of the x's. So you can see here how I am grouping them. However, if I had an x plus y, I can't combine these any other way, right? So therefore, these are not like terms. And then the same thing, if I had an x squared plus an x squared, so if we have exponents, well, I can rewrite that as, again, a 1 plus 1 of the x squareds. Again, I am combining these because they're both x squareds. But if I had an x squared plus a y squared, well, I cannot combine these any further. If I have a, let's say, a square root of x plus a square root of x, now again, these are both square roots of x, right? They're exactly the same. So therefore, I can combine them as a 1 plus 1 times the square root of x. However, if I have the square root of x plus the square root of y, I cannot combine those. Or if I have the square root of x plus the cube root of x, I cannot combine these. So it's very important when we're looking at all these different examples, the only thing that we could truly combine is when they are exactly the same. So not just that they're both numbers or that they're both variables, right? Or they're both exponents or they're both radicals, but when they are exactly the same. And what we're going to focus on in this lesson is when these are exactly the same, right? Not only do you have to have the radicand, what is under the radical, being the same, but you also have the index. This is the cube root. This is the square root. So if not, everything's not the same, we cannot simply combine them. So this is the idea and the vision that I want you to come through when we start working through some problems. Let's go and take a look at this first example and kind of see how we can apply this understanding. All right, so in this example, you can see we have square root of 18 plus the square root of 32. Now, the cool thing is the index is the same, right? These are both square roots. Even though a 2 is not written in there, we both have a 2 there. Now, the cool thing is the radicands are not the same. So what I'm going to want to do is look into simplifying them. And if you don't know how to simplify radicals, then go ahead and check out my previous video on simplifying radicals. So now, assuming that you have a basic background of simplifying radicals, what I'm going to want to do is rewrite these as a product using square numbers and the largest square number that you can think of. So in this case, when I see 18, I recognize this. I can rewrite this as a 9 times 2. And for the square root of 32, I recognize this to be a 16 times 2. And again, this is very important because 9 and 16 are square numbers. So again, like you don't have to write it this way, but again, remember the rules of radicals. We can break this up, right? So we can rewrite that as a product. And that's important because here I know I can simplify the square root of 9. That's going to be a 3 square root of 2 plus the square root of 16 is going to be a 4 square root of 2. And now what I want you to recognize here is my radicands are exactly the same. My index is exactly the same. So now I can combine them. And what I'm saying by that is I can just write a 3 plus 4 of a square root of 2, right? And 3 plus 4 is going to be a 7 square root of 2. So we're using that same idea as once you have the exact same elements, you just combine how many of them you have, right? In my previous examples, we just had one of them. So it was 1 plus 1, right? But in this case, we have 3 square root of 2s plus 4 square root of 2s. But since they're exactly the same, we can now go ahead and add them. Okay, so in this next example, it's going to be a little bit different. Now we have some numbers in front of our radicals. But again, that doesn't really matter. When we're looking into combining our radicals, we just want to make sure they're exactly the same. Having the same index, which is cool. We have a 3 here, as well as having the same radicand, which is not cool here because we don't have the same radicand. So now what I want to be able to do is, again, now we got to simplify our cube roots. And again, if you don't know how to simplify cube roots, go ahead and check out my previous video I have for you there. Now, in this example, there's not really much we actually have to do. There's nothing I can simplify here. Now, in this example, we want to find the largest cube number that evenly divides into 40. And remember, our smallest two cube numbers we have is 8 and 27, and I recognize 8 evenly divides into 40. So again, using my rules of radicals, or just using a product, I'm going to break this up as an 8 times 5. And now again, you can simplify that if you like to. Just do a little bit extra work here. I can rewrite that as the cube root of 8 times the cube root of 5. And again, the reason why I am simplifying this is, again, this -4 is being multiplied by the cube root of 8. So I'm going to rewrite this like kind of step by step so you can see this, but this is -4, and then this is going to be times a 2 times a cube root of 5. Now you can see here I have a 7 cube root of 5. Now this becomes a -8 cube root of 5. We have the exact same radicals, both the cube root and both of 5. So now I can just go ahead and say 7 minus 8 of the cube root of 5. And 7 minus 8 is going to be a -1. So that'd be a -1 times the cube root of 5, which we can just write as a negative cube root of 5. So there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you want more examples of combining radicals, go ahead and check out the examples I have for you down below, or check out my next video I have for you here. Cheers.